Hello and welcome to this video where we will explore the three main sources for bachelor's and master thesis topics along with their pros and cons. At the end of this video, we will also present three specific examples from former students, Julian, Lukas and Stefanie, and explain how they found their topics. In short, you have three options. First, you can choose a predefined topic from a professor. Second, you can select a topic from a company or collaborate with a company to develop a topic together. Third, you can create your own topic. Depending on your personal preferences, all three options can be either very successful or less so. To make the right decision for you, it's crucial to be fully aware of the advantages and disadvantages of each option. A major advantage of choosing a predefined topic is potentially better and more intensive supervision. This is simply because the professor often has a personal, intrinsic interest in the results of your thesis. But be aware, our experience has shown that this advantage often exists only in theory, not in practice. This is because professors simply lack the capacity to provide extensive supervision support to each single student. Especially those professors known for good and intensive support who may supervise 10 or more students simultaneously have very little time for you, even if they would like to give you more attention. An undeniable advantage of predefined thesis topics is, however, that they are usually of high academic relevance and cover topics that are currently significant in the scientific community. So if you plan to publish your work in a journal or magazine, it's definitely worth studying the topics proposed by professors. Another advantage we see in predefined topics is that they are often well structured and have clear objectives. This can be extremely helpful for you as it saves time in narrowing down the topic and formulating the research question. However, predefined topics also have disadvantages. The biggest one we see is that meeting the specific expectations of predefined topics can be very challenging. This is because professors often have a very precise idea of what the outcome should be for topics related to their research focus. In the limited number of meetings with your supervisor, it's extremely difficult to fully grasp these expectations, which only is possible if you work with them for weeks, if not months. Another disadvantage is that the topics are usually primarily aligned with the academic career of the professor, not your own professional career. This can mean that the work offers limited added value for you and your professional future. A third and last disadvantage is the often limited practical relevance of such topics, which can be demotivating if you, like most students, are aiming for a career outside academia. The second option available to you is to work on a topic in cooperation with a company. Our experience shows that this option brings at least four key advantages that you should consider. Firstly, collaborating with a company can provide access to valuable resources like data and interview partners. This access is so valuable because the lack of data or interview partners is often the biggest challenge in research projects, including bachelor's and master theses. Working with a company not only gives you access to these valuable resources, but also allows you to directly use them for your work. Secondly, a company provided topic not only has high practical relevance, but can also be significant for your later career. Additionally, collaborating with a company offers excellent networking opportunities and access to industry experts. These contacts can open numerous doors for your professional future and promote lasting relationships. The last and fourth advantage we see is that when you collaborate with a company, you have a clearly defined target audience and readership of your thesis. This is usually very motivating as you know that someone is genuinely interested in the results of your thesis and it won't just gather dust in a drawer. In our opinion, option 2 definitely offers more advantages than disadvantages. However, it should also be mentioned that collaboration with a company can involve increased coordination and alignment effort, simply because you have a new stakeholder to manage and steer. This is precisely why we developed the Thesis Navigator platform, which not only gives you an overview of all available topics and networking opportunities, but also numerous supportive resources such as a template for a good research proposal. And another point that may not be obvious to you. In our experience, most professors highly appreciate collaboration with companies as they, like you, are always keen to understand the latest trends and current challenges in the business world. In other words, topics from companies are often not only interesting for you, but also for your supervisor. The third and last option is to develop your own topic. The advantages of this option are clear. You have the freedom to choose a topic that fully aligns with your personal strengths and interests. However, it's important not to underestimate the two potential disadvantages of this choice. increased coordination effort, and finding a supervisor. Even if you find the ideal topic for yourself, the biggest challenge with personal topics is often finding a suitable supervisor who is interested in your topic and willing to support you. We have had several students tell us they contacted 10 or more professors, but no one agreed to take on and supervise the topic. Sometimes the professors didn't even respond. Unlike with option 2, where the topic originates from a company, with your own topics, you can't argue as effectively that the topic is highly current and interesting, and or that you have access to special data that offer incredibly cool and unique insights that are also new for the supervisor. These challenges should definitely be taken into account when developing your own topic. Let's conclude by highlighting 3 successful examples from former students to inspire your own topic choice. The first example is Julian, who was initially very unsure about the best topic for his bachelor's thesis. However, a clarifying conversation with his professor, with whom he was working at the university, brought the decisive turn. Based on his skills in web scraping, the professor recommended he conducted a systematic literature analysis on blockchain. The resulting analysis not only provided valuable insights for Julian personally, but also sparked great interest in his supervising professor. The second example is Lucas, who wanted to write his master thesis in cooperation with a company. Using Thesis Navigator, he connected with a fintech startup interested in examining the performance of the 30 leading robo-advisors in Europe. Lucas was immediately fascinated by the research question, and supported by the extensive raw data from the startup, he developed a quantitative research and benchmarking approach with a finance professor. The insights gained proved very valuable for both Lucas and the startup where he now works. The third and last example is Stephanie, who had always had a great interest in the private equity sector. In a seminar, she noticed that there was little research on optimizing working capital in private equity firms. Thanks to her experiences from two internships in the PE sector and access to relevant companies in Switzerland, she decided to explore this topic through qualitative interviews. Her self-developed research proposal convinced her professor, who then supported her until the successful submission of her thesis. In summary, there are essentially 3 main sources to find a suitable topic for your thesis. Each option has its own advantages and challenges. Therefore, your decision should be based on careful consideration, taking into account your personal goals and preferences.